I've seen a lot of different leadership theories, and my conclusion is there's not one best way to lead, because if there was, Ben would have wrote a book and everybody would have bought it. And I mean, there's literally thousands of leadership books and every one of them has a different slant. We mentioned traits before, and there's no doubt leaders have to have a common characteristics or qualities, and we kind of talked about those things, whether it's character, integrity, sense of commitment, communications, open-mindedness, those kinds of things. So you have to have some traits. There's authoritative styles of leadership, and I wouldn't encourage anybody to do that. And some of you may be thinking, well, that's a military style. Well, no, you can only bark out orders so long, and people will only follow you because they fear you, and that's not going to get the results that you need. You want people to follow you because they love you and they want to follow you. So, I mean, authoritative leadership has its place, but it's going to get only short-term results. So laissez-faire style of leadership, which means kind of like hands-off, that's not good either. So those are kind of two extremes. The other kinds of leadership styles, one developed by a gentleman named Ken Blanchard, which is called Situational Leadership. And there's definitely some merit in that leadership style, so to speak, in that leadership is situation dependent. And I guess Blanchard, I can remember it was a 4x4 kind of grid that he developed, where people are either willing and able or unwilling and unable. And so if you've got an employee who is willing and able, let's say along that horizontal and vertical axis, and in the top right-hand corner, willing and able, those are great employees. Just give them a general task and get out of the way, let them do great things. But then on the bottom left-hand corner, if they're unable and unwilling, it's going to take a lot of your time and effort. Those are perhaps people who could find another job to do, because you're going to waste a lot of time on that. And if people who are, who are basically willing but unable, sure, invest some time in those people, because they're certainly motivated, and they may come around with a little bit of teaching and coaching. So that's kind of a general overview of situational leadership. And I do like that style because it forces you to get to know your people and what will work with them and what will not. I mentioned authenticity a while ago. That's a new buzzword that's been around for a decade or so, about being an authentic leader. And that's just kind of being yourself, but putting the interests of the needs of your organizations first. There's a servant leadership model where you serve the needs of people first. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of different leadership styles and philosophies. There's not one best way to lead. You have to find that out for yourself. But there's just no doubt there are piece parts of each of these that I've just mentioned that, and if you put together that kind of mosaic, that kind of picture, so to speak, and get the best pieces of those, I think you're well on the way to being an effective leader.